Fire away. We don't need Jeremy for the intro.
Hey guys, my name's Joel Henderson. That's Jeremy yelling in the background. We're here to do another podcast, this time about the new Lord of the Rings show, The Rings of Power, Season 1, Episode 5 we're going to talk about. Again, this is not one of those shows that does like the crazy breakdown of the lore and connects all these dots. We're going to have a conversation. You're welcome to join the conversation via the chat. Leave us comments. Let us know what you think about what we're talking about, who's full of shit, who has something to what they're saying. It's usually not me. It's usually Dre that has something worth saying. Jeremy's eating at the moment, but the podcasts with all the lore are out there. Go find those YouTube channels.
Yeah, we ain't read no books,
This
baby.
is not us. I didn't sign up to read any goddamn books.
We just three dudes that like watching TV.
This is called How to Watch TV, not how to read any books.
I don't know.
For fuck's sake.
Wow, got a little off the
Live
rails.
from 9 Mile Studio.
Hey, listen,
my
I
name is Joel
appreciate
Henderson.
the
With me, as
veracity.
always, Jeremy Vasitis and Dre Brown. What's up, Jeremy?
What's up, man? We are brought to you by our producer, Come Up It's Network over here. He's kind of good. He's got all his plugs and stuff over here that he's
Yeah, I got it worked out. Don't worry about
it
it.
works. But yeah, we're also sponsored by 9 Mile Branding.
What's that?
What's Nat? you hate me for that because it was funny. Anyway, sponsored by 9 Mile Branding. Signs, banners, decals, car wraps, professional graphic design.
Do they do stickers?
No, don't do stickers is a derogatory term. 9milebranding.com.
What you got, Dre?
We also sponsored.
You're going to have to speak into the mic.
We
Eat that
also
mic.
sponsored by AB
He's
Cannabis.
doing this Barry White.
AB
thing.
Cannabis Training out of Chicago, Illinois. We're an Illinois trusted vendor in the
Lower your
cannabis
voice.
space.
His lower is natural.
Also, I
Like
just want to send a
weed.
quick shout out to everybody who have to deal with crazy people like Joel and Jeremy every day. I understand your frustration. You know,
call me voluntarily, man.
to be fair,
You
you like
text
you
me
call my
randomly.
phone.
You call us like you don't have to reach out, but you do. The phone works two ways.
because y'all my friends.
We can ignore you as much as you want.
Y'all my
You still
friends.
reach out.
Why y'all ignoring me? Wait.
I don't ignore you. That's him.
Joel do be ignoring me. I
He,
did.
doesn't-
Pete
he
that.
acts like he doesn't wear his phone on a lanyard around his neck. Fucker.
Wow. But no. AB Cannabis Training out of Chicago, Illinois.
They're everywhere. They're just
sorry.
destroying me here.
Yeah.
We need some like little fly strips
We need-
so they get stuck to it.
Oh, gross.
AB Cannabis
Bring it right in
Training.
front of your camera.
Yeah.
AB Cannabis Training.
AB Cannabis Training.
They
That
make-
is another sponsor of our podcast.
They make cannabis fly strips.
You can find all of our previous episodes in case you like the stuff we're talking about, which is very unlikely.
That's a good
Go to howtowatchtv.website.
It's not.
It's
like,
not
we're
like,
not, it's
like
not
I'm
an
not
informed
kidding when I say
discussion.
.website. You have to actually type that in. We are
Right.
this will be an informative discussion. I make notes. Like I sit there and watch
Yeah,
the
but
episode through with the
okay,
express intent of making notes of talking points.
but
Go
what
on,
I'm-
Jeremy.
But what I'm saying is we're not going to go, like you were saying at the beginning, we're not going to go, I'm not going to go, I tried to make a point not to go watch a bunch of those, like, Easter egg podcasts that give you all of the details, like, before
Mm-hmm. Don't
we
get me
do
wrong.
this.
I love that stuff. It's great.
No, I do
but
too, and it's there.
I avoid it
But, like,
before
there's
we
so
talk.
many, there's so many of them out there. Like I watch them, and they're just literally the retread the same things over and over again. So like, no, this is just our natural reaction to the shows.
What I've
And
learned from
natural
those
conversation.
shows and those podcasts is that Sauron is evil.
Right.
You figured that
Melkor.
out from those podcasts?
It took those
It wasn't the
podcasts for
movies
me to
that they told
understand
you?
that Sauron is actually a bad dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who do you think is Sauron in this show?
It's definitely not that guy who
Adar.
Adar or whatever his name
Right.
is. He
That was a
seemed-
red herring. It was always a red herring.
He
Okay,
seemed
so
to
who do
be
you
very
think is Sauron?
I don't think he's in the show yet.
No?
No.
Jeremy and I have a thought on
I
who
need to hear it.
Sauron is.
And again, it could be an even stronger red herring.
It
but
would be
I
great,
think it's,
but it makes a lot of sense.
okay. So I think it's it's
we think
the
it's
boy
Harlan.
Halbrand.
Halbrand. That's what it is.
So check this out. What if he
Think about when he met her. When did he meet Galadriel?
middle of the ocean?
When, though? What just happened?
When she was going to the Undying Lands.
Yeah.
Right, and it looked all evil when it closed. Okay? So the next thing we got is her on the boat being picked up by Harland. Now, who is he?
Halbrand.
Halbrand, sorry. He is the guy that is supposed to be the king of the Southlands. And who is in the Southlands at the moment?
The orcs.
And Adar.
Adar.
But the Southlands are the plan is for the Southlands to become Mordor.
The Southlands are.
So he's going to manipulate Galadriel into helping him take Mordor.
Become the king of it. And then he is Sauron.
And then he's going to reveal to her that he's Sauron. And it's just going to be like this big like gut punch for her that she helped him do it. She helped him fulfill the plan.
She helped him get in power.
Oh, God. Then they just gave away the show at the very beginning of the first episode when he said, are you going to bring about the very evil you're trying to chase down? And she literally will.
Yeah.
If this is what we're saying is the case.
That's I'm 100% in on that.
Me too. I like that a lot. I do too.
What do you think, Dre?
It'd be a cool manipulation. It'd be cool if we called it.
That's actually correct.
It's actually correct.
No, I'm saying
I like it. It's correct.
No, it's correct, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Well, so
I like-
you're
As long as you don't
saying
know
you're agreeing with her
spoilers.
opinion because Halbrand is not a character.
I don't
from
think
the
it's an
books.
opinion. I think y'all fucked up and predicted the show. I think
Okay.
y'all fucked up.
Yeah.
Y'all shouldn't have said this out loud.
No, we should have because then it's on recording that we said it out loud before it happened and that we called it. That we're better.
Yeah.
We're better than the writers that Jeff Bezos hired.
Better than the writers that Jeff Bezos hired.
I like that. But no, I think that's what it is.
I'm sorry, dude.
No, it's not on you. It's on us for leaving shit behind.
No, we all took a hand in that. But no,
What do you think about
no,
it?
I think y'all right. Actually, I'm sitting here listening to it, and from a structural standpoint,
It just makes
Then
the most
she
sense.
has a reason to go
just-
against him again.
It's
'cause he
literally the
manipulated
most. It's the most sense that anything could make.
Do I think what I'm saying happens this season? No, I do not believe that. I think this is a multi-season arc.
I would hope so. Same
Yes.
with the whole Gandalf thing.
Yes, multi-season.
I do
arc.
not think that is something we even find out during the first
I
three,
think
four
the streaming.
seasons
I
of the
think
show.
the streaming wars. See, I like to not just look at the show and the storytelling part, but also the business aspect. And the streaming wars aspect comes into play at a certain point. Some of the shit will be paid off in the first season because you got to sell the second, third, and fourth.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's a big one. I'm saying that's a big.
Yeah, that's-
and
that's
they've
a-
already signed on for 5 seasons, so they already have
50 hours of TV.
So they can.
And it's the most expensive
And they're only doing
TV show
8
ever, I
this
think,
season for
Right.
already.
So what I'm saying is, it's like they can build to this slowly as they've been, obviously, because like to me, both the shows, like, I don't know if it's the.
I
don't know
like
if
the
I'm
pace
using
of
the
this.
pace. See, yeah, but sometimes like I feel like I want some more, and I hate to say this, more action. A little.
No,
it
ain't
does
nothing-
Can we
feel
get
a
some more,
little
like, of her,
action
like, the-
light.
Seriously, like
It's a lot of
and to me, I'm
setup.
not counting the training sequence that we just got in this episode, which was pretty lame. Like,
It was a quick little show off scene,
With
but
the
it
herb.
had some playful music in the score.
Okay, well let me start at the beginning here. So Nori and the stranger discuss peril and death. I just wanted to say I hate pulling my cart for work. I can't even imagine.
that big wooden thing
big
with wooden
wooden thing,
wheels.
like, that is a
wooden
shit
wheels. Can
life
you
that
imagine
they've
pulling
set up.
anything with fucking wooden wheels?
Yeah, like it just sounds like
through
garbage.
through tall grass.
Right, and mud
Yeah.
and muck and a
Now,
swamp.
admittedly, they're doing the same trails, right? Every year, they're just going in a big circle.
Yeah, they made it. They made that
think-
clear when they
yes.
said that these forests haven't been this bare in a long. Yeah,
Right.
so they showing you
But I
that
think
they.
there is alternate routes on the trail because she was like, "We came this way. We should have went the other way, but that way
Mm-hmm.
was blocked because of this, so we had to come through here." So like, there's multiple ways around, but like, yeah,
Right.
they do have their favorite ways, which are they have to like over the years nomadically figured out how
y'all feel about
the
that?
less dangerous way.
How y'all feel about that? Them getting ready to kind of cast them off.
Cast who off?
You know, she told I don't know the half Harfoot's names,
Nori?
but
Little
she
girl?
told the older guy to take their wheels from him and leave them.
Yeah. So you think
And,
that
and like right before that, right after that, that's when he like saved a group of them from the little dire wolf or whatever it is.
Right?
Yeah, but then he hurt and scared Nori. So like, I think her feelings might have been changed a little bit there, seemingly.
So he was freezing his arm to what end?
he was
I think
healing
He
himself.
healing
He was healing
himself?
himself.
So did that?
Right.
Now my question there is, did that spin something off into her that makes her slightly magical,
I
or
doubt
did
it.
that hurt her?
I
No,
think it
but
just
wait,
hurt
but
her.
wait, Dre. The Morgul blade. Like that's literally the reason Frodo got on the ship and left, is because he still had that little bit left from the Morgul blade. It never really went away or healed.
I mean, that type of magic maybe, but I don't
It's a
think
different type of magic, I agree, but it could still be he could still be onto something. Maybe not she
Like
can cast
something
spells, but there's like
transferred
some
to her
trace
there.
to her.
Like her hand looked swelled or something. Like it didn't look right. So like that had to impact her in some way. I'm just not sure what.
I think
It was magical or
He was
just.
just scared
I
her.
think it was more or less implying that
He's dangerous.
you don't know who it is, and he might be dangerous. You know, we still
Speaking
don't
of
know
not
who
knowing
that
who it is, here's a question I wanted to ask because it led to an interesting discussion earlier. Who named Gandalf as Gandalf?
It's the
And,
Rohirrim,
and when
right?
and when did
The
that
Horse
happen?
Lords.
When did it
The
occur?
Rohirrim called Gandalf Graham.
Graham.
Right.
They added the Graham part. I think. I don't.
I mean, we could literally look up.
We could look it up,
I'm just trying to figure
but,
out when that
from
happened.
my
in relation to
understanding,
the
all
show.
of the
Can we
names
see it
came
in the
from-
show. Him being called Gandalf. Is it possible?
We might see somebody give him that name because my understanding is all of his names came from different people calling him because his original Maiar name was something completely different.
Right now, he is known as the Stranger in the
Right.
show. Like I noticed that only in the subtitles on this episode. This is the first time I've seen the Stranger saying anything. So I'm still convinced that that is Gandalf.
I
being
hope
we
it's
know is
Gandalf, but I'm waiting for the okie doke because it'll be dope if they actually made him somebody else.
But he would just have to be like Sauron or not Sauron, Saruman.
Yeah, but who are these? Here's my question: who are these people that's looking for him?
That's looking for who?
They was looking for him.
The comic guy?
Yeah,
The
those
Stranger?
ones that was
rather?
out there examining the spot in which he landed.
Okay. Yeah, the white cloak people.
Yeah, and they was doing that weird
So that
Sauron
seemed
whisper.
very much like they were. Yeah, that seemed like they were in that same cult or whatever.
Right, like
that
they
same
came.
group.
It felt like they came there looking for him, like they knew that's where he was supposed to land, and now he's gone. Like they got there too late or something.
Do we think that the Harfeet are heading towards the Shire long term?
I hope
The
they
end
don't.
game for them is that they're going to end up in the Shire.
I think-
of this show, not of this season, but like of the series.
They might have to establish a permanent home. Yeah, so I can see that.
Okay.
I'm thinking
so-
they're going to have to be.
so-
They're going to have to be like repressed and like oppressed in the meantime.
This doesn't necessarily answer your question,
Okay.
per se, but so he's Tharkun to the dwarves, Incanus in the south, Mithrandir to the elves, Gandalf to men and hobbits.
Always, though.
Well,
Not
that's what I'm
like-
saying. Like, I don't know if that's clear. See, there wasn't like Tolkien did leave a lot kind of unanswered. It wasn't all specifically out in detail. There could be a little like gray area there. So I think that's kind of where they're fitting this story a little bit, is in some of that gray area.
Gandalf the Gray area.
Right, fair enough. But I feel like we could see this happen. Like I would see. So the original name is Olorian.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
When did
that's-
he get that? Does it say?
That's what I'm saying. But if they call him that name in the show first,
Then we
then
know it's
we
Gandalf.
know it's Gandalf. Right.
Okay.
The general audience, I don't think will know that.
This is true. Oh, excuse me.
So we see Adar casually burn an orc's arm, like just
Right.
to let him feel the sun. So he's enjoying the sun as we would.
And I
But
like the
but
fact
he's saying it like this because this is the last time
we're not gonna see it no more.
Right.
And-
Why?
It's
Why
going
do you think?
away.
Well, because this is the basis of the Lord of the Rings. This is the basis of all of
Is this
Tolkienism.
related to the ring being forged or the rings being forged?
All of it. Everything is about taking light away from the world.
Right.
This is the whole of the story. Like the overarching story is
Gonna
darkness
erupt
taking up.
Mount Doom.
He's gonna what?
Create the giant cloud in the sky.
Wait, say that again.
Blankets the sky and creates the world, the land of Mordor. He's
Mordor
going
is
to
going to be in the
erupt Mount
Southlands.
Doom. Is
Is
his
that
plan.
in the Southlands?
That was the plan. when she took the
But is
marking.
that where it is in terms of like the Lord of the Rings?
Mount Doom is in the middle of Mordor. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
And that's the
Well,
Southlands.
Mordor is in the Southlands.
Mordor
Mordor
was
is the
the
Southlands.
Southlands.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get at. Okay, so we know that becomes
That's
that
when she did
eventually.
that map thing when she turned the sigil sideways.
There's no way that she doesn't get him into power, and that becomes.
It's-
I mean,
it's
like
the
That's
more
what
and
I'm
more
saying.
but that's why he was sitting over there like, you guys just ruined
When
the
you
show.
listen to it,
because when you start talking it out, you're like, oh yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you
because
figure
we
it
were
out.
thinking
We
Adar,
watched
and it's
this-
like, no.
red herring.
Yeah, it didn't. It
And
didn't
the subtle
jive right away.
Make us-
and he has subtle manipulation over her because what he's doing is every time she questions, he bounces it back to her, like maybe you want to use it me. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I'm asking you to leave me the fuck alone. I'm telling you, leave me alone. Let me just be here. You know what I'm saying? Like he literally making it feel like he's an unwitting participant
Right.
in this whole thing.
I mean,
But
honestly,
is he that clever
But-
that he's just?
Oh yeah.
even though we just called it, even though if what we're saying is true and we just said it, like because like it's
We were talking about it, and originally you said it has to be somebody that we care about.
I'm saying that it's going to be like I like make this dude over the next couple seasons, make us, even though we just called it, make us believe it's not true. You know what I'm saying? Really make us fall for this dude.
where when it
And then
happens, we're still like,
still blown away
"Ah."
by it. Oh shit! Like it did
Right.
happen. We called it a long time ago, but shit,
didn't want it to happen,
We
and
didn't
it
even
did.
want it to happen. Like that's yes.
He's that guy in
I'm
this
invested that. You know, I'm invested there. Like do that to us. Like make us care about this dude, and then fucking take out the rug from under us and
Yeah.
make him the villain.
Okay.
I'm
I
in.
agree.
Like I'm in
He
for that.
seemed to
even
take-
though we just said it right now, it could be one of the biggest, as Dre would put it, okey dokes.
Yeah, they might
know
be
what I mean?
okay,
Like,
though.
swap it.
That's why I said I'm waiting. That's why I'm waiting on the
Is
Gandalf
it-
thing
well,
because
let me ask
I feel
you
like
this:
it
is
might
it
just
that
be
obvious? Is it so obvious
no,
that
because
it's
I hadn't
an
even thought
okey-doke?
about it.
I had, dude.
We
I
were
watched
just
a
trying
lot.
to figure
I
out
know-
who could be the most sympathetic character that we're like rooting for that ends up being
Maybe
Sauron.
it was the approach because you guys were looking at it like, okay, who's going to be this person, and I was looking at it for what it was, trying to figure out who this person might be. It's the same argument, but I was looking at it from a different perspective.
Who
So,
they might be in what sense? What do you mean?
so
What's the difference in your take on it?
so in my mind, when I was looking at the stranger,
Right.
I'm looking like, okay, obviously everybody, the hands-on favorite is Gandalf. But when I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, look at his power set. Look at what it is he's doing. Do you know anything about Gandalf that lends you to believe? You know what I'm saying? Like, who else could do stuff like this? Because it could be, at this point, realistically, it could be anybody.
Right.
So I'm looking at it
Just
from that
seems to
perspective.
be that same scale in height to the Harfeet.
It's just another one of those things that when we start talking it out, it makes so much sense because of them not hobbits and Gandalf both not appearing till early in the Third Age of Middle Earth.
Right.
So they're together. They're not in the public eye per se. Mm-hmm. So they might still not appear to everyone in Middle Earth until the Third Age.
Right.
We're seeing their beginning, which I kind of like the idea of that, and it would also explain his affection for the
Hobbits in general.
you know, as
yeah.
a people in general, right? And like the way he always says, they always astound me, like the bravery and the
Right.
like they always come through.
Yeah. I mean, I hope it's that because like that's a big payoff.
Even though we're
At some
calling it,
point.
I really like the idea.
I want
of
that.
being-
I want it
want
to be that.
now that we've talked it out, I want the Hellbrand thing to happen too. Like just going on record. Like
I
I'd
really
I'd
want it
almost-
to happen,
unless it's
yeah.
better than that idea.
Yeah, if they've come up with something better than that, a bigger twist on who is going to be, like if it's Elrond,
And it
sure,
makes as much
great.
sense. It makes as much sense. Now, see
Right.
that would no, like Tolkien lore fans' head would explode if you did something like that. You can't.
Okay,
do
so
that.
I saw something about people being really annoyed because they thought Tolkien would never have in their dialogue where the character was implying they were going to say shit.
I think this is true.
What do you think about that, Trey?
I
He
don't.
was like, "Oh, they're probably just going to
It
take
doesn't
a."
bother me, but they wouldn't. He wouldn't have put that in there. That's just not.
Nah, that was more of a director's take.
Is that them trying to be edgy, like Game of Thrones or
I
something?
hope not, because they don't seem to want to be edgy with this show. They seem to want to tell a compelling story over being edgy, and it's one of the things. Like Jeremy can tell you, I don't text this to you, but sometimes when I hear like lines.
Fine, I'm apparently out of the loop.
No, I start sending you some, but sometimes when I hear lines of dialogue from the show that I really like,
Right.
I just text it to him because the dialogue is just great on this show. So I don't know. They don't seem to be going for edgy. They seem to be
Are
going
they
for
taking
great
from the
television.
Silmarillion, or
No, I don't think they're allowed to. I think they're pulling from like the history of Middle Earth books. But like I said, there's some gray area in that stuff, unfinished writings. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where I think they're trying to pin this show as somewhere in that gray area, where they can get away with adding a few new
Okay,
characters.
speaking of gray area, is Gray Elf free now? Like,
Yeah,
he
he
was
let him go.
he was about to be transferred somewhere else, and then like everybody died because they got captured, like they got killed.
No, they were still digging. They weren't about to be transferred.
No, he's saying
was-
before he got captured.
before he
Oh,
got
they were
captured.
about to leave. They were going to go home.
Right.
to their
but-
home.
So is he free now? Because he seems to just be doing whatever
No,
he
he's
wants.
just doing his duty at this point. He feels
He's trying
like
to do
he's
whatever he can
obligated.
to stop the orcs.
Right. He's pretty much in the same position that Galadriel was in, which is
Well,
I know. Well, I'm just saying from a duty perspective. I know what I was told to do, but I feel like right now this is where I need to be, and this is what I need to be doing.
right, because he also knows that like somebody's got to go tell somebody about this. Mm-hmm. Like nobody knows that this is happening.
Right.
Right, because the watchtower, like everybody left.
Well, yeah, some
well,
stay
then they
and
were all
fight,
captured.
and some leave to the tower with the old guy. I don't remember his name. If they
Old
told
dumbass
us.
drunk dude.
Right.
Right.
That dude was hilarious. He was like, "Look, we selling out. We gonna bow down."
He's like, what do you say? Like, I'll tell you one thing about our
Our
ancestors.
ancestors, they survived.
lived.
They lived.
So Isildur is ready to serve now.
he thinks
Whatever that means.
He thinks. I think his
thinks?
character arc is still gonna. He's gonna watch a lot of his friends die
Okay.
before that warrior spirit comes out of him, and I think that's what his father was alluding to. Is like these people spent their whole lives dedicated to this cause, dedicated to a set of beliefs that you're not privy to that. You don't even care about that type of shit. And I think his sense of responsibility is already there, but the actual, like the part of it that's like burned into his character, that hasn't happened yet. He's gonna watch a lot of bad shit happen.
So, like, with him and, like, the whole West is calling me thing, okay, so geographically, that island is the star-shaped island of Numenor.
Right?
Star shaped.
It's
Where'd you hear
star-shaped.
that from? Was that
Read it
in
on
the
the
show?
map.
Okay.
Yeah. So, where that sits is in the middle between the Undying Lands of Valinor and Middle-earth, right?
That's why Galadriel would have been there, near there,
Right.
when she was trying to go to the Undying Lands.
Again, why was Hellbrand there? But we'll get to that later. Why was he just in the middle of the ocean? Seems kind of, he keeps saying he's calling west. So is he meaning Valinor is calling him? The Undying Lands are calling him? Or like the west side of Numenor?
He made it sound like it was beyond Numenor.
So like that's what I'm thinking. Like so I'm saying like so the voices that he's hearing
Like that.
is coming from the Undying Lands of.
Do you
things.
think that,
Or do you think it's some it's a trick?
What do they call it? The siren voices are coming from the Undying Lands. Do you have any thoughts on that, Dre?
No, I don't think they are.
Where do you think they're
I
coming
think
from?
that's a whole bunch of what's his face, Sauron. The only thing that has
I can get behind that.
Only
but it's
thing
he's
that-
got a big plan in play. Like
only
Sauron
thing that-
isn't only playing from his spot. Like he's
Yeah.
got shit going on.
I
He's
think
been
the only
planning
thing
this
that's
for
been
thousands of years.
attributed, or the only aspect that I've seen that was attributed to anybody being able to like call to people ethereally is Sauron and Galadriel.
Okay.
We know Galadriel's not calling out to anybody currently. Those don't, as far as I know, the only two characters I've seen to even exhibit that type of behavior. And yeah, those are the only two characters I've ever seen that do that type of thing. So it feels more like a Sauron type of thing. Like
The only thing that made me feel like Halbrand wasn't Sauron was like the whole sword building thing.
No.
Because if he built a sword,
Sauron
wouldn't
is
that
a
be
smith.
significant?
Sauron is a smith.
But wouldn't that be significant, that sword that he made?
He just made the same sword for everybody. Like everybody had that same sword. Which one?
The one that he made that was all shiny, and he gave to them.
Yeah, it was like
He
the
was just
same-
showing
it was
his
like the
worth
same-
as a smith.
Yeah,
It
like
just
they all had
felt
that
like
same.
he was doing a Sauron sword. Like you don't think that's going to be significant to have any special powers or
It
anything?
had the same hilt as all they were. All the soldiers had that same sword. I think he was
Okay.
helping them
Yeah.
make the same sword over
Okay.
and over again for the soldiers.
Yeah, he was just
I
kind
think
of
so.
showing
But
off a
like
little
Sauron comes from like the god of like the smithing god,
Okay.
like of like the Valar, like
Right.
bit. Now he did leave a little clue. He did give that little speech, and I think it was a bit of truth in there when he was talking to Galadriel, when he spoke about, you don't know what I had to do to survive on that raft. You don't even know what I did to
get to
here,
where I met you.
Where I'm at right now. You don't know everything I dealt with, and I
Right.
swore I'd never go back there again. I feel like it might be a little truth to that.
But it feels like a play.
see. Well, everything does now because of the angle that we're looking at.
Yeah,
it from.
I agree.
Yeah, no,
It
that's what I'm
might be
saying. I
intentional.
But
feel
the
like he's
sword
telling the
thing was
truth,
like
but in a way
clue
that makes
I
you
didn't think it
feel
was.
like
Sauron
it's
is
something else.
also like in the stories that like the character parts of Sauron that we didn't get in those movies because he was a floating eye.
Right.
He's a master manipulator, dude.
Right.
Like he played the long game with these.
Okay.
And he manipulated people into creating the rings of power.
Well, she did use him. Like Galadriel did use him. Like I was thinking, oh my God, does this justify his betrayal? You know, like her using him, but they kind of seemed to sort that out.
Yeah, because he was on the horse. I think he knew what he was doing all along. He was always going to get on the horse and go with her.
Okay.
Like again,
But did you see how-
if the big play of being reestablished as the king of the Southlands and being Sauron in disguise is his ultimate play, then he was always getting on the horse.
right.
He was never going to stay and smith swords
Right.
in Numenor.
What do you think is up with the Harfoots walking through the dead-looking woods?
They didn't used to look dead.
And do you think that's like? It feels very Stranger Things ish. Like in the
Upside down.
it leaking through, when it was leaking through and infecting the cattle, and stuff like
The
that.
black
Or
blood.
no, that was in Lord of the Rings, wasn't it? It felt very much
talking
like
about Lord.
Stranger Things. I know we are, but it felt very much like Stranger Things when it was like the ground was being seeped in with the evil.
Yeah.
kind
Well,
of
they even
thing.
talked about that. The grass, only weeds would grow. Like the cow was eating the grass, and now its milk is black.
Right.
Yeah, it infects everything kind of like
Okay.
that. It's not dissimilar. I agree
Right.
with you to Stranger
So you think
Things.
that
That's a
was
good
taken
comparison.
from Lord of the Rings?
It's hard to say. Because I'm not an expert on this stuff.
Right.
So it's hard to pinpoint what is and what isn't exactly from Tolkien. And again, I think a lot of the stuff comes from like there's a whole line of books that his son like kind of finished up and organized called The History of Middle Earth, and there's a bunch of them. So I think that's where some of the stuff is coming from. I don't think they got the rights to the Silmarillion, if I'm not mistaken. That's another reason why they didn't do the big fight at the beginning. We didn't get more Morgoth because that's what the Silmarillion is.
Okay. Okay. So the stranger saves them from the wolves with his arm smash power. Like,
Yes, that was cool.
you don't think that leads more towards the Gandalf thing?
Oh yeah, totally. I think so too.
Because you were saying like the way he was the way it was, like it.
My
it was
first
making you
impression
think,
was Gandalf. From
What are you thinking now?
now, I don't have an actual thought on it because, like I said,
Could it be Sauron?
First of all, for anybody watching,
Possible
I
it could be
never read the
Sauron?
books. I want to be clear. Didn't read the books. So I don't know the actual power set for each wizard. But that didn't feel Gandalf-y to me. But at the same time,
He's learning to
Princess
be. whoever he
Leia
is.
flew out of
I also
space
thought
with the
like
Force.
the Gandalf
so who
staffs
knows?
were really important to their powers.
Yeah.
So
and-
maybe we'll see him get his staff. That would actually be kind of cool too.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I think we're gonna know who he is once we know who
Again.
those people that's looking for him are.
I don't know if this is the type of story that they're just trying to pull the rug out from under. It's kind of like Game of Thrones was. A lot of
Right.
that was like we're gonna go for shock value.
Right.
Like, or I'm when he's
Hopefully
writing
they're
it,
leading
like,
us
the Red
in the right
Wedding
direction.
Is like, yeah, as much if it was good storytelling, it was super shock value. Like
Right.
holy shit, like that's never gonna happen here. Like they might like I like where we're going with the Hellbrand thing, but like, come on, we just called it. Like how predictable was it if we just called it?
We'll see.
Right, and like I said, I
Nah,
think
I'm
go
pretty
a
sure
couple
y'all
se-
right about that.
I'm pretty sure too. It makes a ton of sense.
just makes
And
too much
it
sense.
makes just as much sense to me as the Gandalf thing.
Right. I agree.
And if both of those things turn out to be good, and we did call it, I'll be happy with that because that's kind of what I want to happen. That's where I want the story to go.
Right.
And I think it would be neat and be well serviced to Tolkien's works.
Right.
Also,
it'd be
just to
kinda
be fair, from a cinematic perspective, you can be slightly predictable and still be entertaining.
Sure.
So
I
it's
agree.
not a knock on the show.
No, it's not.
Just because we
I
might have
wasn't trying to do
predicted
that.
something,
No.
we literally still enjoy. I know
I'm enjoying the shit out of it.
enjoying the hell out of it. Right? Exactly.
I agree
so
with you.
I enjoyed Galadriel teaching them how to. She was kind of showing off and teaching them how to fight better. I thought.
like,
I thought for sure that was Isildur's in. Like all he has to do is cut her, and boom, he's promoted. Like
Oh
boom,
wow!
he's
I didn't
in.
even see that. Like I wouldn't have seen that coming if that had happened.
I actually thought that myself.
And then
Right? Like
didn't
it
happen,
was
so
like,
you guys
oh,
were-
this is his in.
Right.
He's just gonna go in and jump in this fight, and he's gonna cut her, and then boom, he's promoted.
lieutenant, he's promoted.
which means he's in
but begrudgingly from his father.
from his
at that
father.
point.
Exactly.
It would have been good storytelling.
Yeah,
at that
I
point.
thought that was where
I
we were
kind
going.
of like the idea of the other guy too, though. His buddy being,
I think they want to, and that's why I know his buddy gonna die.
yeah. Oh, I think
Because
so.
they want to keep throwing his buddy on the screen so you can say, all right, look, as Joel likes to say, this is a character we're supposed to care about.
Right.
He's gonna die.
They've made that
Yeah.
perfectly clear. Oh, dude, him and his buddy.
Yeah.
are
No, I
like-
definitely put that in here
they're-
somewhere that they
they're-
were definitely that those people are gonna
they're,
die.
they're prime suspects for that, for character building, basically. I mean, it kind of sucks to just slot them in like that, but yes, that's what happens when you have like that best friend type of character build that
He's
relationship on screen, and then they
he's
take it away
Goose.
from you. Yeah,
He's Goose.
Oh, don't even bring that up. That movie was awful, man.
Yeah. Jeremy watched
I
the
still haven't seen it.
You haven't seen the whole
2022.
I tried to watch it. I
Top
couldn't.
Gun.
Top Gun Maverick.
You
It is
can't
literally-
get me to think Tom Cruise is a ladies' man.
Bro, he's so creepy in that movie.
Yeah?
Like he's creepy. He's got this creepy, weird smile. He's looking at people all the time with this. I don't know, man. I'm not getting into just Tom Cruise bashing. The movie was bad overall. It wasn't just Tom Cruise.
Right.
The plot sucked. It was literally, it was horseshit. A horseshit plot. Okay. The only thing I respect about the movie is the fact that the actors did a lot of the flight schooling,
Right.
flying and shit like that. Like, not themselves, but like they were in the cockpit. Like a lot of the camera work was kind of cool, but nothing that was like blowing me away.
Right.
Like it didn't make up for
Did
the how
Top
bad
Gun
the
1
movie is.
be would have been fine? We didn't need a Top.
We didn't
Gun
need
2.
the second Top Gun. No.
Yeah.
No, there was really bad beach scene. It was really disgusting. I didn't like it
Speaking
at
of
all. It was one of the
second
worst movies I've seen
generations
in a
we didn't
really long
need.
time. Yeah.
Pharazon's son challenges him about taking orders from the elf. He thinks the new king in the south would be in debt to them, which I get his logic, but if the new king
Is Sauron.
is Sauron, yeah.
Yeah, he gets to manipulate the Numenorians.
Speaking of the king all of a sudden has shit to say about Middle Earth. Like he's been dead basically to the world. Like
Yeah,
king and what was that other thing that where the king was possessed?
Two Towers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels very much like that, but all of a sudden he's got a bunch of shit to say. Don't go to Middle Earth. That's going to be a problem.
He saw a vision.
Well,
Somebody
he just said
was calling
one
out to
thing,
him.
right? That was all he said.
I know, but he didn't say shit before that. He was like comatose. He was in a
He just
coma.
had one thing. I wouldn't significant a bunch of things. He didn't say a bunch of things. He said one thing.
We already talked about the stranger freezing his arm and Nori's hand,
Right.
and then him inadvertently transferring any magic potentially.
I think that could be a thing. I kind of like where you're going there. Not necessarily to where she becomes a wizard, but like some
something.
sort of trace
It
of something.
transfers something
Right.
to her to where she's
Even
different.
if this is just like a good luck charm.
Right.
Like where
Can I be quite honest? He's Gandalf.
it just makes the most sense.
And I'm going to say why. Because I don't give a fuck about those hobbits. Those Harfoots or whatever you want to call them. And I feel like they're
Lord.
just a storytelling element to introduce him.
yeah.
Lord, and yeah.
You know. And
Well, yeah. Well, obviously they're gonna die because he's gonna live for like, forever, like immortally.
I love how anyone in power just has to like kind of look at somebody and everybody leaves. That's so good to me. Like, Jeremy, you don't know you're supposed to get up and leave right now. I'm looking at you. Like, they literally just looked
Dude,
at
just to
people
have
like,
that kind of command of a room.
Yeah.
Just be like, And then everybody fucking stand up and leave, like in a boardroom or some shit. That's
Right.
great. That is great. I like that.
Side
That's a good
note.
note. I like that.
Side
That's
note.
hilarious.
I've done that.
What, you've just looked at somebody and made them leave a room?
Yes.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar was in the room too.
I could promise you that I would not leave the room no matter how you looked at me.
No, I can make you leave. I could.
I doubt it. I don't believe you.
I'm gonna let it leave your memory because you wouldn't do it now. But I
No,
promise
I won't do it ever.
you. Okay.
I'll always stay there and at least have a conversation. It's
Okay.
way more interesting than just
I
leaving.
know. I got you.
I can't wait
Well,
for
what
that.
if it was like none of your business? Like it was
Well,
just
but
like you
what
were
does
one of
that
the
have to do with
extras
me?
in
Yeah.
the room.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like you
I don't think he would do that to get me to leave. I think it would just be a conversation that does not interest me.
Nope. Make him leave. Fuck it. That's the rule.
That's it. He's like, nah.
That's the rule. That's
you
the new
don't have to be
challenge.
interested in
Since we
leaving.
know I won't be able to fight Brock Lesnar, I have to at some point during the next year I have to make Joe leave a room.
Okay, so
uncomfortably.
do we believe the whole nonsense about the tree of good and evil being struck by lightning?
Yes, that's part of the lore.
I don't believe it is.
It is.
I believe it's kind of nonsense.
I don't think it is.
It sounds too far-fetched. A tree that's good and evil, and the lightning strikes the roots, and it makes
It's-
mythlier, or whatever it's called.
Mithril.
Mithril?
That's a controversial origin of Mithril, from what I hear.
Oh my god, and what's his name totally told the secret. Like, fuck you, I don't care what you say. The way he's saying it is like, I promised, what's his name? I can't remember his name.
he's saying it without.
He's like
Dorian.
saying it without saying it so obviously. He's not keeping a secret. He's being so shitty.
Yeah, but I didn't like the pressure that they was putting on Elrond in that scene at all, because this guy, you already have him in a compromised position.
This is when we find out the tree is infected, right?
You basically sent him to see his best friend with a spy because you knew about them finding the mithril.
Right.
You already knew it. You just wanted him to go there for confirmation.
You need it verified, right?
Then you didn't even trust him enough to let him know that, so he could have went in armed with the knowledge that this is what he was there for. And then on top of that,
Saying
now
when Elrond originally went there, he didn't know he was there for Mithril.
no, he
did
never
not.
knew. He
Right.
never knew. And it's like you kind of manipulated him to a point where
I think that was kind of
It's-
the point. Yeah.
there was no way for him to leave this situation unscathed.
They're
Right.
showing that Gil-galad and or Gil-galad and Celebrimbor kind of knew about the Mithril.
Yeah,
already.
they knew about
just-
it beforehand,
right,
and they
felt
basically
it better than sending Elrond in armed with that information, like you said, because he might have approached it differently than just sending him in unknowingly as a friend to just kind of find out, because they knew he would find out. Elrond is naturally, inquisitive, so he's gonna end up finding out anyway.
Yeah,
Right,
and
so-
you made them shit on the friendship,
It-
and
it-
it's only because you don't respect dwarves.
Right.
And that's shown with how they, like, even what you said with the look and making people leave the room, pay attention to how the elves look at the dwarves, the other elves. You know what I'm saying? They don't
Right.
respect them. They don't give a fuck about them. They just need what they got right now.
Right.
Okay, this is where we got to the future son-in-law guy is definitely not coming back from the war. Like, that was just my comment at the time, where he was like, oh, well, I'm a future son-in-law of blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Like, that dude is not coming back from
He's
the
the
war.
dude in the
He's
Vietnam
going
movie
to
that
die.
when I get back to the world, I'm gonna marry my girl. We're
Dude,
gonna get a nice
yeah,
little
exactly.
house.
To go
You get shot.
go back in between the dwarves and elves thing. I like that Durin used that and played it against
Yeah,
him.
that was a
in
dope.
that
I
public.
thought
He
that was
like,
a dope ass scene.
Where did you get the table? This table comes from these
That was so
stones.
good.
It
It
was
was like it
so
was from
good.
the
And he was
monument
like,
and-
my wife needed a new table. Like, that was a great play because he
And then
used
Elrond
that,
being like,
that lack
that's
of
coming
respect
from
for
me.
them
Right, tell
against
her.
him. He's like, oh no, he's going to show me how much respect he has, because I'm going to tell him that this table is a tomb thing. He's going to give me this table out of respect,
Right.
And I'm going to take it back and put it in my fucking living room. Like that was a dope scene.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that a lot.
boat
Elrond
is-
was like, yeah, I bought that table.
Like
They
he
Tell
knew.
her- tell her about
the
that.
shit out of that boat. I was not expecting that to be so quick.
Kaboomy.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
Isildur was like, what did he say? What did he call it that he was doing? He's like, you're something.
Stowing away.
Stowing away, yeah.
Who was the guy that he found in there? We had seen that guy before.
I can't remember.
I don't remember that guy in particular. I thought he was just some rando that was actually trying to rebel against
But
the...
he saved somebody that was important. Like that guy
Was
was
he important?
semi-important. He was the son of.
No, he was the son of El Farazan.
Yeah,
yes.
of Farazan. Yeah.
Yes.
Halbrand just got a seat on the council table, and we find out that the elves need all the mithril to bathe in its light.
Right.
I didn't quite understand that.
I
Do you
don't
know?
think I don't understand it either. I don't think the elves understand it. Like I think they're mistaken about.
But we
Who
know
had
the
myth-
elves
who had-
survive.
who
Like,
had
they're going to make it through
Who
this.
had mithril in the Lord of the Rings trilogy?
I guess the elves did.
The elves did. They made Frodo a T-shirt out of it.
Right. But it was very rare. Like
Yeah.
the mines are gonna end up getting caved in, right?
Yeah. It's a rare metal, but
I'm just saying by like the story mode, like the story
Right.
where all the cave in and stuff like that, that they're gonna close the mines off.
Okay. We fight out. Galadriel just can't stop fighting, and her old friends couldn't distinguish
like
I'm wrong.
the difference
When they
between
went
evil
through
and.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
When they were in the Lord of the Rings movies, when they went through the cave, like in the extended editions, when they're in Moria, like he looks way down, and like you can see where they had been digging. Oh, these it's like shined it. Like there's tons of mithril. So like
Well, wasn't it difficult to mine?
it was
they
still
said?
difficult to mine, but like you could see that it was just
There was
like
a bunch of it.
yeah.
But they presumably got enough to survive then. If they were not going to make it through spring.
Well, if that was
the
it was
reality of
because
it.
here it
That's
is.
why I ju-
This is the lore part I was talking about, especially with the tree. The light. The Lord of the Rings is based on 2 trees, right?
right.
It's
these
based
two-
on 2 trees? What do you mean?
2 trees, and the trees brought light to the world.
The
Once
ones that Morgoth killed at the very
Right.
beginning.
Morgoth killed one, and the spider,
Osgiliath.
killed the other. These trees brought light. These trees were before the sun and the moon were created.
Okay.
The remnants of the tree's light were put into these artifacts, what they call a Silmaril. 3 Silmaril. And from that, the bearers and the keepers of the light were Gandalf, the other elves that were supposed to be keepers of the light, and then, the other wizards that were supposed to be keepers of the light. And then you had, I could be wrong, somebody tell me in the comment if I'm wrong, but then you had the elves who were part of the light. And that's why, to me, it made sense that because the light was about to be going, that's why they had to go. But the mithril
They don't go.
because
we
the
know that.
mithril has some.
So is that the
some
saving grace of them?
Exactly.
Okay, so, but I'm saying like that from what I watched, like I said again, I'll call it the nerd of the rings guy seems pretty knowledgeable. Said that wasn't the lightning strike of the tree was like kind of made up.
Oh yeah, no, the lightning strike part could be made up, but what I'm saying is the mithril having part of the
light.
essence of the light
Okay.
makes sense.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the lightning coming down. It does make sense, but like
Right.
I'm saying is like I don't know if that's the original origin of it. I have to look it up.
Okay. Did you notice that Halbrand apologized for her brother? For Galadriel's brother?
Mm-hmm.
That seemed very suspicious.
Well, coming from the perspective that you feel like he's Sauron.
Yeah, I mean, why else would he apologize for her brother? Just trying to be
I like that.
sympathetic?
I like that he apologized for the brother and not all the other stuff that she mentioned.
Okay.
Like, go back and watch that scene again. He specifically, like, he listened. He let her
Right.
say everything, and then he specifically was like, "I'm sorry about your brother." You know
Right.
what I mean? Like the other shit, I ain't got nothing to do with. You know what I'm saying? The brother part was kind
Seemed
of
kind of specific.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He specifically honed in on that one thing.
Like, I am sorry about that.
Like,
He's got
Like,
her
my bad.
so pointed in a different direction that
Right.
he's got her like if he is Sauron, he's got her wrapped around his finger already. Like so, you know, she's playing right into it.
Right.
Which yeah.
right.
So Waldreg decided
Wall dragon.
loyalty to Sauron was the move. and Adar was not happy about that. Or Adar or whatever, he was not happy about him being. He's like,
Well,
"You're Sauron, right?"
Yeah. He didn't seem like he was
He was
pissed off.
clearly not Sauron.
Right.
So then after that, Theo and what I'm considering his dad have a chat. Did you notice that his hair conveniently covers his ears? Theo?
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't notice that till you
I
just
did.
said it.
He shows him the hilt, and he says it's a key. Did you get that at all, what they were talking about?
Well, there was they found something with like, it looked like it matched it, like on
There
the
was
statue
some,
on the
like,
wall, yeah.
carving or
Yes,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it could be a key to opening up something. Like, those things were built by followers of Morgoth.
The hilt?
The tower.
The
that they were
tower
in.
and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would happen too when they were discussing that. Like, so like when you were watching it earlier, and I was like, I wonder what they're gonna do.
Right.
And they were like, she's like, this will die here, and this tower will fall. And they both looked at each other, and then they both looked up at the tower. Yeah, because they're gonna make the tower fall on the
The enemy.
enemy.
That makes sense.
Right.
So whole continents fell into the water during Morgoth's war?
Yes.
That was
So you
craziness to me.
remember, but wait, but you were like, dude, if you look at the map, it's insane. So you remember when Adar asked Grey Elf where he was from? And he said, I'm from Beleriand. And then he described the river. I walked by
Yeah.
those river bells. Beleriand is a whole continent that fell off into the water after the war.
Okay, so it's gone.
Gone.
Okay,
Like, and
interesting.
I'm talking like a continent bigger than Middle Earth is now. Gone.
Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. So
Interesting.
that's
so
what
just
she's
fell
like,
into the water.
fell into the water, because that's what they
Okay.
showed a scene of that in the very first episode. Remember where you see all the elves floating in the water and like
Yeah,
the cities? That's
where it
That's
looks like Stranger
sinking.
Things.
Yes, that's it sinking into that's Beleriand sinking into the sea.
So they say the elves will be dead by spring without Mithril. And did you notice the weirdo king spying on them?
Mm-hmm.
Like that? What? Like, I almost thought, is he Sauron for a moment? Like,
Weirdo king.
the elf king.
Oh, Gilgalad?
Sure.
Gilgalad? Yeah, the high king.
Whatever you
Gilgalad.
call him.
Joe was
Gilgalad.
like, sure, why not?
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know
Dude
his
with the
name.
Dark hair, the
Yeah.
high king, the one that put the crown
Yeah.
on it. Yeah, he's super creepy.
Yeah,
But-
he was like spying on them from the woods.
Yeah,
That's because he knows something that everybody else doesn't.
Like
Yes.
what? What do you think he knows?
I don't know, but he knows something about.
he's very old and he knows something about the
He
myth.
knew about the Mithril already. He knows something about Sauron's plans.
Right.
He might know more about Morgoth than anybody else. And I think his inner circle, like letting Elrond into the inner circle, by giving him more information out, that was more of a what do you call it, a stopgap, so to speak. Like, okay, I still need him for right now, so I'm gonna just give him some more information. But I think he has some. It's hard to say because they've never shown, or I've never seen anything that implied elves could be corrupted by anything dark.
Right.
I thought that's what orcs were.
Yeah, they're
No, they were.
elves,
Those were the
right?
ones that, but they had to be tortured for like decades for that to happen.
Okay.
That guy doesn't look like.
So you're
a
not going to
torture.
turn into it.
Right,
anymore.
you're not just gonna. Nobody not gonna whisper in
Well, I
your
think
ear.
they were
You're
like
just gonna go
that's
dark.
where they came from to begin with. I think they're just a being now. Like they breed.
Oh no, yeah, now. But what I'm saying, but it's just that guy doesn't look like a tortured elf. He's just a dude.
He's
you know,
an
what I'm saying?
angry elf.
Right.
Right. So he might know some shit that he's not trying to let other people in on.
I think he's mad about the way whatever war was handled. He was there when the continent sank into the sea.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? He was that
Grey
he was
elf?
there. Adar.
Adar. Okay.
He was present during that battle, and this what turned him into. He saw some shit happen that he didn't
I
approve
see.
of from the
Okay.
elves. He saw the elves do some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's like, "No, you guys are fucked up. Like, I'm like,
right.
why we're you becoming what we're fighting against? Like, I'm just going to join them now. Like,
So we
or
saw.
find kind of his own way. Maybe he
Right.
thinks like he's manipulating Sauron, but that doesn't happen.
Adar, you
That,
think?
yeah, and I like that
he
they
is?
keep
Right.
that type of stuff in the story too, because that's just like Sauron, who thought him and Sauron was equals. And
No, that was never.
nah, like we're not gonna be partners, buddy.
No,
You'll
he
be
said
pulling the
there is
caboose.
only one Lord of the Rings, and he does not share power.
You will definitely be pulling the caboose on this one.
So we saw like a couple episodes ago when the tree fell, or when the tree dropped its leaves to let it know that it was unhappy. What do the red petals mean?
From
This episode, there were like red petals falling everywhere, and it was like, is that different than the
Where?
white ones? When they were leaving for the battle, like when they were ready to,
leaving Numenor.
yeah. Like,
don't
does
know.
that mean anything,
Maybe
or
it's
is that
just
just that's what they were throwing?
Other time of the season.
Yeah,
like
I was about
fall.
to say it might just be a different type
Okay.
of tree.
They
Could
float
just be
off
like
to
fall
war.
season. That's why the white leaves are falling anyway.
Right.
It's just the season change.
The last scene we saw was they float off to war, and Isildur gets his comeuppance, and in the sense that he has to earn his way,
Right.
like by being a
A stable sweep.
there you go.
Right.
But that's what's gonna save his life, because he gonna be down under the deck when the ship
When
blow
shit
up.
goes down. So all those people are dead that went with
Oh
him.
no, they
sure.
did. They
You
did.
don't think they're going to make it and fight in the battle?
Some
they're
of
definitely
them.
gonna
Some
make it
of them.
there.
I mean, his father definitely not
They're
gonna
going
die.
to help. They're going to help Halbrand take his throne in the south.
It has to happen, right? Like they have to
for,
like
for it to
fulfill
go
that
in the
prophecy.
direction that we really want it to now, because we keep talking about
yeah,
it.
it is going that way.
It's going that way. And they have
You
to
name
land.
another character on this show that you think is
They're gonna
Sauron
come-
or Sauron.
They're going to come and save those people
Yeah.
in that tower. The people, the tower falling over is going to give them just enough time for them to show up and save them, like Gandalf did at Helm's Deep. You know,
Which was an epic scene.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not so sure about riding a horse down that steep of a hill. But
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was
like,
really
okay,
irresponsible, right?
right. Especially like a whole group of like thousands of horses.
Yeah.
like
Right.
On top of each other. Let's
Down
just
a
go down a 45
really
degree
steep hill. Like it was. It wasn't like it was like this. Like
Yeah.
they were riding like straight down into them, and then they all put the spikes up.
What are you gonna do? You're just running into death at that point.
Yeah, but then the sun came out and blinded them.
Anyways, anything else on this episode?
Not really. I'm immediately going home to watch the next episode since we're already on Friday. and
Yeah,
we're
is.
thank
framed
you.
from
Sorry,
watching.
we're a little bit late on this.
Somebody
one. I had to
browbeat me
travel.
into not watching a new episode this morning.
That's my
No,
bad.
I did.
I'll
I
watch
hit,
it
I hit
tonight.
play on it, and I thought about it before the Amazon logo came up.
Because
was
I thought
like,
about it this morning.
shit,
I'm
I
like,
can't watch it.
shit, we're doing it tonight, and there's a new episode. If we do this one and do 2 episodes, we're screwed for next week because we don't
Right?
have.
No, we did the smart thing by waiting. So I'm gonna go watch it tonight.
So
Just
sorry,
gotta wait
we're a
to
little
digest
late.
it.
We'll try to be a little more punctual next week. I don't have
Hey,
any.
man, we all got
travel.
like jobs and shit.
Right.
Right.
Anyways,
Right.
thanks for watching. We'll see you next time because.